everyone, it's Claire from K&K Chai, and today we are here with a special Valentine's Day podcast. We're going to be talking about tea pairings today, and Kevin's going to go into a little bit why we do pairings, how to do a pairing, so that you guys can do this at home either with your partner or with your friends. It's a great alternative to drinking, and it's a fun activity to do for the Valentine's Day season. So I'll let you take it away, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but a lot of times Valentine's Day sneaks up on me really fast. And so don't always come at it with a plan. So then you end up just being like, okay, I got to get flowers or chocolate or a card or a bottle of champagne or something like that just to try to make it special. Hopefully I can find reservations somewhere. This is something that you could do that actually is pretty easy. Some of the things that we picked out here, you can just find at the store just by walking in and grabbing stuff. Some of the things that we selected take a little bit more work and planning. So we did a little bit of that for you. So we're going to walk through some of the things here. One of the amazing things about tea, a lot of people drink it just for like when you're sick.
Yeah.
You know, for health benefits or whatever.
When you have a sore throat.
Yeah. Like
my go-to.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that all the time. Like tea is for me when I'm not feeling well, or a lot of people have started to get into tea because it's got a lot of health benefits and it feels a lot better with the energy that you get from it. We talked in our last one, we call it clean energy over here because it really does feel a lot cleaner. You feel more focused and present. So you feel better with it. But you also like, one of the fun things about tea is there's a lot of flavor options. Yeah. Especially here in the U.S.
And at K&K Chai, we have lots of flavor options.
So we are a tea blender. That's what we do. We talked about matcha before. It's our top product, but we have over 50 custom blends. We have a dozen of them. Awesome. That have won international awards. We love blending. We blend real fruits, flowers, herbs, and spices around the tea. One of the main things that we're always trying to do, because we love tea and we really
tea
respect tea culture.
Over here.
Yeah, we do love it. So, like I always say, one thing that's a little bit different about our company is that we're always trying to elevate the tea. So we want you to experience tea from our company, not just like, oh, that was a nice peach flavored beverage. Yeah. Like if it's a peach green tea or a peach black tea or a peach white tea, like we want you to know what white tea tastes like along with the peach that complements and elevates the flavor. And a lot of times, like tea blending has been around since a long, long time ago, before tea even made it out of China. But as it's touched every corner of the globe, there's a lot of flavors from those cultures that have come into the tea experience and tea cultures. Flavors have made it into the tea, but if we don't really think about often, like, what does it look like to choose a tea based off of the flavors we are having with the tea?
Yes.
And so whether
instead of the base of like, oh, I'm having a black tea or a green tea today, I think a lot of people have that perception when you walk into a grocery store and you pick up like a ready to drink tea. It's typically a black tea and typically an overly sweetened, overly brewed, overly flavored black tea. So a lot of the times people don't even know that there's white tea or other kinds of tea. And really, there is a lot of options when it comes to picking what tea you're going to drink and what flavors are going to complement those. We hope that through this video, you're inspired to do something similar with your friends and share your love of tea.
All right, so we've paired some chocolates. Like I said, some of them we got from a local chocolatier. Some of them we just got from the grocery store, just things off the candy aisle shelf. So we're gonna go ahead and taste some of those things. What I've got here is a few different options of hot tea. I've got some tea lattes. I've got some iced tea options. And I have a couple of our matchas too. So a lot here. We're going to walk through them and explain a little bit about why we chose certain things and explain some of those teas. So the first one that we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just start with our hot tea. This I brewed here our orange blossom. It's a green tea with a jasmine green base. It has a little bit of citrus, a little bit of floral. It is a lighter tea, kind of lighter bodied, just a really good clean flavor to it. So I always say when you're going to do a pairing, you should always sip the tea first and know what you're having with it. So
that's a good idea. I love this tea. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, you get a good lemon. So we blend lemongrass into it. It has a good floral note to it. A lot of times with green tea, with matcha, white chocolates work really well because green teas tend to be a little bit more astringent.
Got it.
And the white teas that are a little bit sweeter actually do really hold up really well with it. So we've got this white chocolate that is, it's cherry and it's a cherry blossom. So a little bit of floral. So it's going to heighten the floral a little bit when you try it with the tea. Tastes creamier too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
automatically you get like almost like you added milk to it.
I love the cherry aftertaste that I'm getting.
It really does make the cherry hang on longer, which the tea really helps to carry that flavor a lot.
I really liked that one.
We do have one other that I thought would be fun to try, since we were talking about how much citrus is in this. So a lot of times when you're pairing different teas, you can look at flavors that are going to complement, and you can look at flavors that are already in the tea that you want to enhance a little bit more. The complementary flavors, you want to be careful you don't contrast it or overpower it. This already has a good floral note, so we went with something very subtly floral, but has a little bit more sweet with the white chocolate. It has a lot of citrus flavor from lemongrass and lemon peel and orange peel that we have in here. And so we do have one here that's a raspberry. Lemon drop is what this one is here, this flavor of this chocolate.
There's a lot of different things that you can try in regards to what goes well with a specific tea. It doesn't just have to be white chocolate or milk chocolate. You can kind of play around with it and see what fits and what doesn't.
Yeah, and I would say experiment, like especially if you're just starting out, if you know just by reading the ingredients, like, oh, this is going to have some floral, this is going to have some citrus. We kind of started there a little bit easier to play with some of those flavors that you already know just by
looking at the bag.
Looking at the name too, the orange blossom, looking at the name. You would know that those things are already there.
Okay.
And so picking some like flavors that just to see how the tea carries it, how it enhances, make sure it doesn't overpower too much, but you want it to change the experience of just drinking these two, drinking the tea or eating the chocolate separately.
Cheers. Yeah. I think I liked this one better.
Yeah, it's
that was
very
really
different
good
than the other one.
That was really good.
Especially with the darker chocolate. It's like you're drinking a completely different tea. Our next tea here, I decided to do a little bit of an experiment, and I took our whipped cream maker at home and added tea to it and nitro infused it, just to get a little bit different flavor. So when you add the nitro to coffee or something like that, it's going to make it sweeter and creamier.
Okay.
And so I picked a tea that would work well with that. So it's already a very fruity tea. This is our blood orange rooibos. So a really good fruity tea has some vanilla, which would work well with that those cream flavors. And then doing the nitro infused just kind of makes it have more natural sweetness.
Okay.
So this one we did it like an iced tea.
Oh, that's really good.
One of my favorites actually to make is an iced tea out of all of our tea blends.
Yeah. It's a popular one too. A lot of people call it the orange creamsicle tea because it literally tastes like an orange creamsicle in a cup.
A lot of the products that you find in the non-alcoholic category right now, they're all tea infused.
Yes.
So there's a lot of tea infused options when you go walk into the grocery store or go look for something that's in the non-alcoholic category. There's a lot of these like sparkling wine things that are all tea infused. And so we wanted to try to do something that we had around the house that we can kind of make it a little bit more fun. I can tell you just from my experience with messing with it, you get a lot of foam on the top of it. We picked a chocolate. This is from Charles Chocolate. This is their Ruby, kind of their signature chocolate. They're out of San Francisco, so semi-local to us. And it has a cacao brittle that's inside of it. So it's not going to be cherry flavored. It is going to be a bit more of that caramelized sugar notes. You've got the cacao in there, and I think it will actually pair really well with this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it makes the chocolate taste a little bit more tart, but in a really good way. And then with the caramel that you get, it just makes everything taste so much sweeter.
Very unique flavor profile. It has like almost an orangey, like in the background, like that orange zest flavor.
A little bit more acidity to the chocolate. Just to kind of make it a little bit more fun. This is one of the drinks that we like to do. One more iced tea that we're doing. One that my family likes to do a lot more is we get a good iced tea. We cold brew it, and then we add some tonic water to it. And so we did that in our champagne glasses, make it look a little bit more like bubbly.
The Kents love their tonic water.
Yes.
Even their girls who are
our kids.
How old are your kids? 12 and 16?
12 and 15.
12 and 15, yeah. And they love tonic water.
They'll drink it on its own, but we really like mixing it into tea. It does make for a great drink. So you get a good bubbly. I mean, it looks almost like a light champagne. So with this one, we decided, so this is actually our Twilight tea, one of our other award-winning blends. And it's a hop tea. So the hop that you have in there, we also blend chamomile, lavender,
And for people
rose.
who don't know, what is hops and what else do you use? What do you use
yeah,
hops
hops
to make?
typically you would use to make beer. It's actually before it was used for beer, which is what it's most commonly known for. It was actually used to make a tea that could help you fall asleep. So
okay.
this
Which is,
it has like a natural sedative effect to it. And so we decided to create as like a sleepy time type tea, a hop tea that we can bring chamomile that's very calming, lavender. So this is a lot of floral, very herbaceous that it has as well. Tends to be a little bit bitter if you like oversteep it, or if
the scent
do it
profile
too hot.
on this is strong. A lot of people at
Very
our markets,
fragrant.
a lot of people at our markets, especially because hops, it has a strong, potent smell. So a lot of people will smell that and get caught off guard, but then they try it and they're like, wait, all the flavors balance out. And so that's also something too, is like when you're smelling a tea, it may not be exactly how it comes out to taste, because some herbs shine through more once they've, been steeped. So this is one of those teas that I feel like does that.
Yeah. When we add the tonic water to it, it adds a little bit of sweetness to it, so it will mellow out some of the bitterness, but also cold brewing takes away a lot of that as well and makes it a little bit creamier.
Oh, that's really good. It's funny because video that's coming out next week is all about a fun spritzer like mocktail, and I used the berry calm for it, and it's very similar. The lavender comes out with the soda water, tonic water, and it's just it's so good.
So this one I decided to go ahead and kind of play off of the citrus that you taste from it.
Okay.
And I went ahead and went with a milk chocolate, so we get a little bit more of that creaminess that comes when you do the cold brew. And so we have a bit of each of those things with this one as well, the milk chocolate and citrus.
Okay. And so there's orange in it? Is that, I'm seeing some orange pieces? Okay, perfect.
Brightens up the tea a bit more, makes it taste a lot fresher and cleaner.
Oh,
it's almost like a palate cleanser that you get, but it still really works with the flavor too.
I was gonna say it almost neutralizes the lavender.
So we are K&K Chai after all, so I figured I might as well bring out our first tea that we ever did, our original masala chai. So I made it as a tea latte. So one of the things I wanted to say, just to make it easy, because I know we're picking a lot of chocolates here that have unique flavors, and we've talked about that. If you want to make it really simple, some of the things that work very well, if you go with a green tea, especially matcha, white chocolate pairs great with it.
Yes.
Like go with a white chocolate or something that's going to be a lot creamier, sweeter.
I'd argue even a milk chocolate. It just depends on what type of milk chocolate.
So I would recommend even more so the milk chocolate for the spiced chais. So partly because of the black tea that's normally used in it is very bold, it's very strong, it's malty, it has some caramely type flavors like you normally would add milk to a chai. And so if you're going to have that milkier chocolate, that creamier, you're already going to have a really full mouthfeel with all those spices and everything else. And so that milk chocolate really does carry those flavors a lot more. So that is one of the things that we picked here. 2 different chocolates. One of them that we picked has a little bit of citrus, a little bit of coconut. The other one we picked, we went with want to bring out some of the smokiness, want to go with something a little bit more savory. So we went with a bourbon bacon.
Okay.
Milk chocolate.
Okay.
So don't have to go crazy like that. Like I said, just a milk chocolate that you enjoy would work really well with a chai.
And this could even be something that extends further than just the tasting. Like this could be a whole date. Like you could go with your partner to this is what Kevin does, is he goes to, like he was talking about, local chocolatiers or chocolate places. We have one called the Chocolate Architect. That's a great chocolate place, but there's See's Candy. There's other places where you can find chocolate besides just the grocery stores.
All right, so we could try the coconut one first.
Okay. And we'll save the bourbon bacon.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm not going to try a sip of first because we both know what this one tastes like. That's my favorite pairing so far.
Yeah. Why? Why would you say that?
I almost, and this is going to sound so weird, maybe it'll make sense to you. I'm getting like a piney taste. I don't know if it's from the chocolate or the coconut mixing with the spices, but something is mixing and it tastes like piney almost. Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way, not in a bad way.
I almost tasted more savory notes.
Oh, okay.
So it made the chai taste more savory to me than it would on its own. with this. So I was expecting that a little bit more with the bacon.
Well, we're gonna do the bacon bourbon chocolate now.
Here we go. Oh, it's so interesting with the saltiness on the bacon.
I love
salty and smoky, and then you try it with this, and salt often does enhance flavor. It really.
It's similar to MSG where it like automatically makes you salivate, which is what I got with this, and then that smokiness, yeah, it reminds me of when you go to a bar and they like smoke your cup before they put your drink in it. That's what this tastes like to me. Really good. If you like whiskey or bourbon, this would be a great pairing to go for. I feel like our original masala chai is very smooth. You don't get that strong turmeric taste or any of that because it is just the traditional masala spices. So it does go right back down to that just like neutral chai state.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to get a little bit more simple as we've gone along. This is one of our seasonal specials right now. It's our London Fog that we make with our award-winning Earl Grey.
And this is one that a lot of coffee shops who we wholesale to absolutely love. London Fogs are a super popular winter drink, but our London Fogs especially have become very popular in this area. I know many people who won't drink a Starbucks London Fog if they know they can get one of ours at a different coffee shop. So it's definitely a good one.
One of the things that makes our Earl Grey a little bit more unique is that we add some lavender and vanilla orange peel into the black tea blend itself with that bergamot citrus. And so it's kind of our creative take. We call it the Minister Grey. And it really is it's probably one of our top 3-4 teas and top sellers.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. So we ended up going really simple with the chocolate because we love everything in the tea and we didn't want anything to be muted in any way. One of the things that if you were to just drop into Google and be like, what pairs with what teas? Earl Grey pairs great with dark chocolate, and you'll find that a lot. Chocolate works super well with it. This actually has beans from the Dominican Republic and Peru. Wow. This is just a really good, rich, dark chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, those work well.
I would say that vanilla flavor really came out.
Yeah.
Because hold on. Like I need another sip of that. I think with the bitterness and the vanilla flavor, those two is what I'm like picturing together when I'm tasting it because the bitterness didn't come till after I had finished taking my sip. The vanilla was like exploding in my mouth.
Some of those different origins of cacao have a bit more vanilla taste. In these areas, they grow a little bit more vanilla too. And so that would be something that it is very subtle in both of those things, but it's going to be a lot more elevated when we taste it.
Yeah.
So if you've made it all the way here to the end, we decided that, or at least I decided, if this is all way too fancy for you and you're like, I don't know about all this stuff and going and picking out all these gourmet chocolates and everything, we want to think like, what's the best budget, just having fun, what you can do to be able to pair some tea with some really simple, easy to access, easy to find Valentine's treats.
Yes. Okay.
And so my kids still get very excited. My wife gets very excited when candy hearts come out around Valentine's Day.
I bought a box the day I saw them out in the store, and my girlfriend looked at me like I was crazy because there's a huge debate that you either love them or you hate them, and if you hate them, you say they taste like chalk and that other people are weird for eating them. So
well, we're gonna try.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right.
We'll see how this goes. But I just grabbed some candy hearts and I decided let's go ahead and pair this with our matcha. Because in my opinion, matcha goes good with everything. So matcha is one of those very safe ones.
It is.
That you can kind of like, whether it's berries, whether it's flowers, whether it's that's citrus or melon or whatever you are doing with it. Even some savory things. We've done a lot of like experiments with savory foods with it as well. Like matcha just seems to work every time. And so this is the one I picked.
Okay.
I don't usually eat these.
Kevin's like, this is not in my
I would be
diet.
one who doesn't quite understand when my family loves this so much.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those candies that is basically a very strong sugar base, and that's a big part of it. There's not too much flavor to it. I'd say there's a subtle after flavor, but for the most part, it just tastes like extra sweet matcha, which you know I love.
That's true. Like a candy matcha.
Yeah, candy matcha.
Yep. And so it totally works.
Yeah, like a cotton candy matcha. That's almost exactly what it tastes like.
And then the last one that we have today, I got some Reese's Candy Hearts.
Okay.
So this is one of my wife's favorites.
It's
favorite
my
candies.
Mom's favorite too.
And so what we ended up going with is one of our newer products. It's hojicha, which is a roasted matcha. That's exactly how it translates, roasted tea. So it comes from the same matcha farm. It's green tea just like matcha, but they end up roasting it in order to bring out a lot more of those nutty and chocolatey flavors. And so with peanut butter and chocolate, it might be a peanut butter chocolate explosion.
I think it's going to be incredible. Honestly, I love our hojicha, and I've been saying for the longest time when people ask me what it is, I'm always like, it honestly has like a hazelnut profile to it already. So peanut butter and hazelnut, oh, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, it makes hojicha taste like Reese's.
That's so good.
Tastes like I'm drinking peanut butter chocolate. It's wonderful.
I think we have a market special drink idea coming up.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I think people would eat that up.
Hojicha is the way to go, and you really do. Like first time I tried it from our matcha farm when they sent us samples a few years ago, I was like, I'm drinking chocolate milk. Like this just tastes like chocolate milk when you make it as a latte. It's so good, and it's a lot smoother. So if some people like feel that the green matcha is a bit more intense or bitter, hojicha is a lot more smoother. It's a very pleasant drink.
Yeah.
We did a tea and coffee festival in San Francisco, and we sold out in under an hour what we brought to sell the entire weekend.
And I think part of that has to do with, at this event, a lot of the customer base there were people who are really like into tea, and they know what hojicha is, so they come up and they kind of like, oh, you have hojicha? Great. I don't find it at a lot of places, let alone the best quality that we have. So if you know what hojicha is and you've been looking for someone that has really great hojicha, like we said before, it's from the same farm as our regular matcha, and it's a fun one. I haven't seen it in any stores to buy the powder of, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely check out our TikTok shop. I would almost pair this with a scoop of Nutella as well.
Yeah, it really is a fun one to play with, but all of these, like we brought a good example, because I don't know what's in your tea cupboard. If you are already into tea, you probably have 7 to 8 different types of tea, at least tea brands, if not different types of tea there. And so you don't even have to go to the store for it. You can kind of pull out and see what you have and just go, I'm going to make a couple things. You don't have to do this many, but experiment and just jump into it. Like I said, whether it's a white chocolate, a milk chocolate, or a dark chocolate, you can go as simple as that, or you can go as easy as getting candy hearts and Reese's. So try to make it really easy, or you can go a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that if you go into some sort of local chocolatier in your area and start talking to them about what you're trying to do with tea, they will be really excited to help you.
Because they will, even if they don't know too much about tea, they will still understand flavor profiles and what goes with what. So another thing you could do is literally take a picture of the ingredients in your tea and bring it to your chocolatier and be like, this is what's in my tea, what tastes good with it? Like what is gonna give me that really awesome, or what's a unique combination that you may not expect to be good with it?
Yeah, I think it's worth experimenting. And one of the reasons why I got into tea as well is because I could drink as much as I want of it, and it was just good for me. And there's not a lot of things you can say that you can indulge in, that you can really enjoy all these different flavors, as many cups as you want.
Yeah.
And it's just healthy and good for you. I mean, of course, you can add a lot of sugar. You can do a lot of other things that can make it less healthy, which is why we try to have really high quality teas with great flavor.
That
you don't have to add all of those things. You know, some of the things we tried here were naturally very sweet. Some of them had some sweetener added, but because our ingredients are so high quality, it's a fraction of what you'd get if you were to order it at Starbucks.
Yes.
And you can always adjust that yourself when you're buying our teas. You can choose no sugar or a little bit, you can try alternative sweeteners and really play around with it. But you can embrace this in a way where you don't have to worry about overindulging, but you still get to experience a lot of flavor, a lot of culture. And there's so much more than just drinking tea when you're sick.
Yeah.
You can make a whole experience out of it.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely something we would love to come revisit in the future and get a little bit more in depth about.
I just want to let you guys know, if you are in the Sacramento area or Northern California and you want to make a trek out to Folsom, we are doing experiences just like this about once a month. And we would love to have you there because tea tastes better together. And so if you want to do something like one of these pairings, we have blending classes coming up. We've got different tastings where we'll walk through a tour of different teas and really get to experience more of the stories and the ritual and the culture around tea, and we get to do that together in this very room that we're filming this right now. So we've got a lot of great things planned coming up. We'll have those available on the website. All the tickets that are available right now and all upcoming ones, we'll be releasing those as tickets are available. So you can go onto our website, onto the events page on the site, and be able to see what we have coming up. We'd love to have you join us.
Awesome. And we are so glad that you guys joined us here. If you're sticking around till the end, thank you for watching our video. Make sure to follow our TikTok account if you haven't already, and go check out our TikTok shop. We also have this YouTube channel if that's where you're watching us on. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day season, and we look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Yeah.